Y'all already know the vibes is early in the motherfucking morning, but I'm in here right now. We about to talk light life. Um, just noticed a few things, and plus I had a download. You know what I mean? And Divine like, yo, you gotta elaborate on the light, man. You gotta go back in on the light. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going back in on the light. I already know the vibes. So let's get started. You know what I'm saying? You already know what it is.
Hey. With the affirmations to enjoy your day with. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. Nagas rising cavalry. The netters are my battery. I got my discipline. My source comes from within. Root chakra grounded in the cosmos so infinite. Nagas through my veins. Currencies flow through ligaments. Another netta instrument. Manifest me dividends. I'm on my mastery. Self-doubt is blasphemy. I'm the God I ask for me, connected to my astral dream. I summon other beings, all facets of me. Magician carve my meaning. My purpose is the alchemy. I am numero uno, Raishi on my mind, lion's mane, big on sumo, Babalao aligned with Pluto. We kick back like judo, karma licks back from Pluto. Heart on a feather, that represents my new growth. Trusting me is crucial, the God in me a do show. I'm bigger than your economics, politics, and Google. My omnipresence is the true show, all the world is stage. Allow my authentic self to be the sage. Fumigating parasites all up in my space. Cause I am who masters me. I embody mastery. I'm bigger than indoctrinations. Nagas rising cavalry. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. I'm bigger than the situation. Nettas are my battery. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. Nagas rising cavalry. The nettas are my battery.
You already know the vibes, man. Supreme, divine, rising. I am Naga. And my page used to be There Will Be Trouble, because I was setting y'all up for the value of shit coming. But nobody went through those videos to understand much of it, you know what I'm saying? So I got over 1,300 videos setting you up for what's going on in the world, telling you what's coming and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting, like, it's real interesting, like, because, you know, when I started talking about the light life, you go in my videos and you hear me tell people, you ain't gonna never hear nobody speak about it like this except me. Then you started hearing people talk about it out of the blue. And I don't have no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? But that came out of my head. That came out of my universe. That came out of my connection to the divine. All praise due to the Most High. And I'm appreciative to hear people speaking about it. Matter of fact, before I go in this build, I'm just gonna let y'all see. Salute to the king. You know what I mean? I appreciate the value. We just add this in there real quick.
The soul weighed 21 grams or 2.1 grams, whatever it was, to the soul that light. How much the soul weighed again? 21 grams. So tell me,
they have a weight on the soul?
No, but please, let me tell you this one more time. The person who's dying allowed them to do this test, and so they put him on a scale, and they weighed him, and once the man deceased, 21 grams were missing from his weight on the scale. And it happened to everyone, same thing. So it's 21 grams. So how could a 21 gram spirit do all this shit? Explain it to me. It's only 21 grams. That's not enough to get fucking high on, is it?
Shout out to Jazzy Gems Dean, because that actually came from that initially. That breakdown came from me and her doing a live like about a minute ago. It was almost a year ago. We did a live together. And we got a lot of views on that live, you know what I'm saying? And she pointed out the value to me about it being 21 grams, you know what I'm saying, a light that the soul weighs. And I was elaborating on the value of what light is, you know what I'm saying, and how we should put more into the value. So shout out to people who really tapping into this energy and they starting to comprehend, you know what I mean? Shout out to Tyson, you know what I mean, Mike Tyson, for actually speaking on that value. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was dope to hear somebody else speak on this value, even though they ain't give us the shout out because we spoke on that first, me and Jazzy. You know what I mean? Shout out to Jazzy Gems. Jazzy Gems Dean. You can find her on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and all that. You know what I mean? You already know the vibes. So let me sit up, yo, because I gotta bring this. I'm trying to sit up. Ain't much space to sit up in this motherfucker, and I ain't got no pillow, so it's like uncomfortable. So y'all gotta like bear with me and shit. All right, just bear with me. Let me get comfortable real quick. And this light ain't doing me no justice right now. Let me see. I think that worked a little better, right? Yeah, all right, that worked a little better. So like everything else that you teach your kid is really fighting against the value, or I said your kid. Everything you're taught or that you teach your family or things you're going through is kind of inadmissible to the value of what life is about. You know what I'm saying? Like even when you having a baby, you know what I'm saying? Like the doctors can't see when the actual sperm go in it because it gets engulfed by darkness. So therefore the light can cultivate correctly. Listen to what that even said. It gets engulfed by darkness so the light can cultivate correctly. Darkness never was supposed to have the characteristic traits of man's mind. You know what I'm saying? And what happened to certain men that were created in the value, they dealt with. It's like saying you came in somebody's house, but you wasn't supposed to be there. And because you wasn't supposed to be there, all these characteristic traits started formulating in your flesh. And you didn't know what none of that shit was. So that became your life because that's what you're feeling outside of your inside. Inside of you and here, outside of you is your flesh. So everything you felt became the reason why this world existed in that value. So now everybody progenerates or generates the value of darkness being something scary. Darkness being that scary. I don't know. Nah, darkness just automatically had the characteristic traits to engulf. So when it engulfed everything, it protected the light so that it can grow right. What else does this in life? What else does this in life? Naturally. I'll wait. I'll see who's gonna put a comment. We had 8 seconds and 8 minutes, 13 seconds. Put a comment. I'll wait y'all a few minutes, a few seconds. Not just a baby, seeds from a plant. Seeds go inside of a shell. Inside that shell, it's a nut. You don't know that nut is inside that shell until it come out, until it busts out as a plant. You know what I'm saying? So until that shell comes out of that darkness, it's what? It's a light tan color because it can't absorb the light. It can't absorb the melanin. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a whole bunch of compact nutrients inside of a dark shell. You know what I'm saying? And then that shell becomes hollow and brittle and it breaks down and it's not as strong as it used to be. But most shells initially, they be hard, dumb hard. You can't break them with your hand because they got to keep that nut where it needs to be. And then it grows in there and it starts eating that shell and the shell becomes nutrients for that nut. So then that nut can start producing or pulling in the sunlight like everything else that's grown in this plane of existence. So the difference with people is that the nut already came out the shell. The nut been out the shell for a long time, and the nut is trying to rule the world. The nut is like, that's why it's crazy, right? The word nut, and they called you nutty. You know what I'm saying? Like a person is a nut. You know what I'm saying? Like you're crazy, like he a nut. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy that the people who run the world are the nuts. They look at themselves as overvalued. It's like somebody cracked the shell and pull you out the nut. You know what I'm saying? Before you even had a chance to grow. Look at what the world do. They devour everything. Devour everything from start to finish. So what you think gonna happen with you that got light encapsulated inside of you? And see, these are energies that were ripped out of their divinity. What is divinity? Being trapped in the darkness so you could be cultivated right. So a lot of beings that came here, somebody cracked their shell and threw them down here weak. It's like, you ain't gonna grow down there unless you go to the darkness. And then people started understanding that the darkness had a different familiar understanding. This is where the energy started coming from, these false retrospects. So now we live every day, we teach the value of falsity. You are more afraid of growing with natural nutrients than being attached to that. You know what I'm saying? And when you was attached to it, you didn't want to grow inside of that. So you got banished from your set of darkness, your universal principle, your encapsulation. So therefore you can grow to your full totality. The light that's in you is just the understanding of how the process of everything happens. Everything. You are the diagram of the universe. You are a walking pure diagram of what happens in an original field. And a lot of energies around here are not going to be in that because they already separated from. It's like you got to have a as above, so below. So if you're trapped, if you're inside one, you got to have one inside you. You see what I'm saying? It's like a Farushka doll. That's why I say that in that poem. We like Farushka dolls. You just inside of another one, inside of another one, inside of another one, inside of another one, inside of another one. What would destroy that possibility? If I remove the one that's protecting you and I just put you out there, I take that one away from you and I place you in, you ain't gonna get the nutrients. You're gonna watch everything else grow because you don't got a shell on you. The sun gonna eat you up. Life gonna hurt. You're gonna complain about everything, all this potency that all the nuts would get because they're sitting inside their shell, you couldn't get because you're not encapsulated in your shell. You go to other shells to try to live and try to understand what you can take from that shell because you don't have one. You're not a Farushka doll. That's for individuals who know they're not original. I can't make this for everybody, but I'm just talking about the light. And nobody want to sit down and have this real conversation. Like, you would rather be a part of the world so much you don't see you destroying the value of your own light, killing your light. Killing your light. I don't like that view on the camera. I'm trying to get comfortable. Yo, ain't no comfortable spot. And this futon ain't even doing it, yo. Like, but that be the point. That be the point. So then you walking around watching original concepts, right? The universal concept of beings, and you watching them act like they don't have their own nutrients, like they're not encapsulated inside of a shell. And the world gives the propaganda to make others feel as such. Yo, let's gather up these shells and put them over here. Let's gather up these nuts and put them over here. Let's crack some of these shells and take some of them out of their shell. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's make, like, it's just as simple as that. They say what is the they try to say it's the shepherd and the shepherd and the sheep. Well, it's the farmer. Keep it a thowie. It's the farmer that gathered the nuts up. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to look up every day and find a new priority that the nuts are talking about to give you value that you think you need to obtain, because you're looking at them like, yo, they're out of their shell. How are they living out of their shell? That must be a force of reality. Something letting them live out of their shell, but they're not as efficient as things that would just grow naturally within their shell. You had to take a lot of nutrients from your shell to be what you are. So as a plant, how do you take from a nut? How do you download from a nut? How do you follow a nut? A nut is not a processed plant yet. It's you on your way to produce different versions of you, different shells, with nutrients. Like you produce the whole value. Other things don't produce the whole value. We got to look at this shit as what it is. This is DNA. Shout out to Kali's DNA. But it's the light life. Like, so you put your value on things. But by the time you look up, you done killed yourself. You done threw your life away. You done threw your light away. You threw your light away. You don't care about nobody else. Like, it's like they teaching you how to be that which they are. This is the only reason. So it's not about not killing. It's about not following a nut. Straight, I know this shit sounds funny, yo. I know it sounds crazy, but this is exactly how I heard it in my download, yo. It's like, yo, why would you follow a nut? So if they jump off the bridge, you gonna jump too? So we start applying that shit to us, but we can't apply it to us because we are our own Farushka dolls. We're in a dome. We're inside our shell with the light inside of us, encapsulating the light. We're created right. You're created right. The difference is what you take in. So this is what you think you know as far as the knowledge. You and Ty Mary. You and Ty Mary. That's what we at. We in Ty Mary. All us, we bout that love, yo. That's what we bout over here. We just ain't about that love, the things that ain't got a shell. Yeah, we'll plant your seed out here because you got a shell, which gives you supposed to be, listen. You're supposed to be naturally in reciprocity. You was born in reciprocity. You came in the world like that. You came in the world like that. You came in the world like that. Born reciprocity. What does that mean? You naturally gave back the energy from gathering the energy off self. They even showed you that with the with a baby eating from the mother with the umbilical cord. She gave birth. The baby ate off her. That's natural reciprocity. You're supposed to know that naturally, though. You're supposed to like live that naturally. It's something to think about. And most of the knowledge that y'all learn from is situations who are not naturally wrapped in that same energy. You could put a bunch of nuts in a bowl. That bowl ain't giving them nuts no nutrients. Them shit's dried out. You about to snack on them nuts right there because they can't be planted. People love sunflowers. You see sunflower seeds everywhere. They be cracking the seeds. They light, shell easy to break. Just put some salt on the shell. Let's eat the shells too. Y'all gotta start looking at this shit different, yo. Like, it be the value that people put into things. What do you value? And if you don't value the process which you came from first and foremost, your base knowledge is fucked up. Your base knowledge is messed up. If you don't respect the process that brought you here, that encapsulates you now, everything else you know don't even matter. You kind of throw all that shit out the window. I'm a descendant of all original beings. Not knowing the depths of how real that is, I know I am a descendant of the original beings that walked on this earth on Ty Mary. I'm cut from the cloth that produces original loyalty and love by natural pretenses. I have a discernment to see straight through bullshit, and you can't lie. I'll let you lie because that's your own karma. I was taught to let you be. Every lesson learned is a lesson lived. And if you live these lessons now, you will learn them later. You will be your own teacher and your own student. This is the light life. Protecting that value just to get you to come full circle and learn your own lesson. Divine. All praise due to the Most High. You gotta force you to learn nothing. I am, and you will. Soon you get tired of the rat race. How do you run out of your shell before you get? How do you leave your house without your American Express card? You in the shell. You in the shell. You got all the things you need in the shell. You came out the shell to be a part of the world. You wanted to be a part of the world because they told your shell wasn't right. You started cracking your shell, showing teeth. Everything you do now is got an open shell, got a hole in. All your shells got holes in it. You piercing your shell. You doing all these things to your shell. It's the exposure. It's the exposure, the nut inside the shell, and then you hope a good farmer like me can come through and recultivate that. You hope a good farmer like me can come down and plant that after you done went out here and cracked your shell all up. But that nice sweet nut was inside that shell. Don't the head of a thing look like an acorn? Just saying. Divine provides the ether, the fluid of life to soften the shell when you have grown so much inside of that. Just like a diamond being pressured, that nut is pressured inside that shell, and it's going to stay in there until the water can soften it, can give you digestive so it can break down that shell. You and the earth gonna share that. With what you don't eat off that shell, the earth gonna get, it's gonna turn to earth. So what I ain't take from my mother, I'm gonna leave it in the body, which will end up being the afterbirth. Listening? So what I don't take, I leave behind. What I don't take, I leave behind, which will become the afterbirth. Why you think we had inheritances? Why you think it was labeled and marked for individuals? Because what I don't take, I leave behind, which will be the afterbirth, which will bring back life. Y'all just out here fucking up everything. Period. Don't got a sense of nothing. How many people gonna watch this? How many people gonna share this? Like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment. Because when I talk, I don't just be talking, I'm saying something. And you don't hear it nothing but one time clearly. You might hear it regurgitated by the other fools out there in the world, but you know it's coming. See what time it is? Divine been downloading me all night. I'm like, man, look. Y'all out here scared of Divine trying to live certain ways to follow society and beat people head down just because you don't want to say, you know what? I did all this shit for nothing. I changed myself to suit the world for nothing. Divine know you through and through. You're good, bad, and indifferent, but you don't want to be that version of you. So scared of yourself, you got to walk around with accolades. so scared of yourself. You need paperwork. You need to go kill some trees and get somebody that doesn't reach or match the value of you to write on it so you feel good about yourself. Your whole thought pattern is twisted. Scared of the world, so you got to bulk up and get dumb big. You need weapons everywhere you go. You don't know how to carry yourself. You don't even know how to mind your own business. All these traits ain't traits of divine beings in a Farushka dog. These ain't traits of understanding that you are being encapsulated inside of a nut, so therefore you can grow while you encapsulate the light. That's the Farushka dog. Watch it glow. Going into the universal forest, seeing these shells attached to trees that fell, and they look like universes from a distance, but they big to us, so we don't even know where we at. You are what's that. Everything laid in fruition is given. Not to mention that what's here had to have something to hold on to. So we talk about what we gonna throw away. How you gonna throw away what's the contrastal value? That's the only way you learn it. You ain't even protecting what you got. You just burning it. Because you satisfying what don't have what you got naturally. So how will I stand in some type of unpractically? I'm just they still don't be listening though. They don't be listening. They're like, yo, why don't you just say it? I am saying it. I am saying it. The earth will eat off what's left. That's the afterbirth. Grow from what you was given. In divine principle. Why you ain't putting the priority on the light? Why you don't respect the light? Why everything got to be a conversation? And if you need the conversation, why don't we come and get that kicking real quick? Come through, holler at me. Hit the email up. Hit the email up. I'll show you something about yourself you ain't never thought about. And that's because the light. It's always going to be because of the light. Stop cracking your shell open to serve nothing. Y'all out here cracking your shell open just to serve nothing. Like you ain't the most important thing. Like you not going to produce more nutrients. How you giving up your nutrients before you can produce some? This is Naga's wisdom to the light life. You got to be learning how to protect that. And you got to understand what you're doing. Like, you're not like everything else here because everything else ain't like you. So stop trying to follow everything else and start anew. We don't even commerce the same. But we acting like we do. So being lost in everything that's going around, we arguing about what ain't even true. Shit get ill just like that. And nobody really think about it. Like nobody say, damn, yo, I never really looked at it on that type of scale. Yeah, you won't. Because tomorrow will be the same race of something that you ain't got because you mad because you don't understand it. So you think you got to obtain it just so you can be the one talking about it. See how that shit hit? Instead of just doing what it says to do. Crazy, right? Naga.
So weigh 21 grams or 2.1 grams, whatever it was, to sold that light. How much the soul weighed again? 21 grams. So tell me,
they have a weight on the soul?
No, but please, let me tell you this one more time. The person who's dying allowed them to do this test, and so they put him on a scale, and they weighed him, and once the man deceased, 21 grams were missing from his weight on the scale. And it happened to everyone, same thing. So it's 21 grams. So how could a 21 gram spirit do all this shit? Explain it to me. It's only 21 grams. That's not enough to get fucking high on, is it?
Sunshine Monet, ayy. With the affirmations to enjoy your day with. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. Nagas rising cavalry. The netters are my batteries. I got my discipline. My source comes from within. Root chakra grounded in the cosmos so infinite. Nagas through my veins. Currencies flow through ligaments. Another netta instrument. Manifest me dividends. I'm on my mastery. Self-doubt is blasphemy. I'm the God I ask for me. Connected to my astral dream. I summon other beings. All facets of me. Magician carve my meaning. My purpose is the alchemy. I am numero uno, Reishi on my mind, Lion's mane, big on sumo, Babalao aligned with Pluto. We kick back like we judo, karma lick back with Pluto. Heart on a feather, that represents my new growth. Trusting me is crucial, the God in me a do show. I'm bigger than your economics, politics, and Google. My omnipresence is the true show, all the world is stage. Allow my authentic self to be the sage. Fumigating parasites all up in my space. Cause I am who masters me, I embody mastery. I'm bigger than indoctrinations, Nagas rising cavalry. I am who masters me, I embody mastery. I'm bigger than the situation, Nettas are my battery. I am who masters me, I embody mastery. Nagas rising cavalry, the Nettas are my battery.